everyone, my name is Emma, and today is day 6 of the 7 days of 7 lessons. Today we're going to talk about Game of Thrones and their last season. When it comes to the choices that we make and the decisions that we make, if we do so with intention, we can overcome almost anything and end up creating the world that we always wanted to live in. So what we talk about here on this channel. Today we're going to talk about how does failure fit into intention. I wanted to wear this sweater thing because I felt like it kind of tied into Game of Thrones. And isn't it just the way that most people have moved through the worlds? They've created parties, it's taken over Comic-Con, people have fallen in love with the lore of Game of Thrones, and people have created their own fantasy worlds based off of it and have continued their story in so many of their own ways. So when we look at their last season, did they really fail? 30 million people viewed the last episode, 30 million people viewed every single episode of the last season. It had $15 million budgets per episode, and it had actors being paid at rates that no one has ever before seen in history. So, can we really say that they destroyed their own legacy by the way the show ended? I would say that they can't, because they've already changed the industry so much. The expectation for production when it comes to a TV show has increased to levels that people have never before seen. And in order for other shows to ever hope to reach the draw that Game of Thrones did, they had to step up their game as well. And we can see that in Netflix shows, including The Queen's Gambit, Tiny Pretty Things, and other shows that have come out. The production value is so much greater than if we look at shows even a year before Game of Thrones came out. So what does that mean when it comes to failure? How do we quantify failure? But more importantly, how do we learn from it? How can we change from it? And failure can only stop us in our tracks if we let it. If we are like, well, this is it, this is who I am, I can never change, I can never grow, then that failure is something you will carry with you the rest of your life. But I believe every single second of every single day, we have the opportunity to embrace a new version of ourselves, a better version of ourselves, the one that is more authentic to who we are at the core of ourselves. So if we want to look at season 8 as this failure, we can, or we can view it as they made decisions and a lot of people didn't agree with it, but they are allowed to make it and they're able to overcome it. But to say that their legacy is over is truly impossible because they've already changed, and they changed as they were developing. People had to step up their game as Game of Thrones was releasing its episodes because people were choosing to watch Game of Thrones over other shows because of how much quality was put into those episodes. So nothing is ever going to diminish what Game of Thrones was able to achieve. And they may have learned from what the fans contributed in feedback, and House of the Dragon may look different compared to its original series, Game of Thrones, but we will have to wait and find out. But I know my life was changed forever from the show, and I know that a lot of people have changed because of that show. They've learned so much from it, and is that not the goal of everything that we do, is to learn from it and to move on from it and to grow from it? When we look at our own lives, there's been many lessons that we've had to learn and many moments and hard times that we've had to go through. Our failures surround us, but they can also guide us into the person that we want to be. And we can take these opportunities to grow and to really reflect, but only if we put in that work. If people just say, you know what, this is it, this is who I am, then that's their choice. We can only choose how we react to situations. Sometimes we can control how they play out, but oftentimes it's more of how are we going to react to it? How are we going to overcome what has just happened? But it is up to us to do that, to develop it, and to overcome it. In 2021, I want to take that mindset with me is anytime I failed, I have learned from it, or I can learn from it. And if it guides me into a new direction that I learn even more from, then that's the goal. That's what intention means, is making choices, reflecting, and then making better ones that align closer to who you are. So let's step into 2021 with intention, with decisions that reflect not what once was, but what could be, because we decided to learn from our failures. Hope to see you next time, but until then, I hope you have an amazing day.